So today we start our new journey with Örgryte, and I'm excited. This could be going one or two ways. I found out we've got prize money, and we've got an exciting young striker in our midst. So this team, who is the oldest team in Sweden, are very exciting. The goal is to get them promoted within 2 years. Can we do it? Let's find out and meet the squad, shall we? Hello. Welcome everyone to JLABTV. I'm JLAB and this is Football Manager 2022, the master. We build a save with Örgryte. I haven't just looked up how to pronounce that team's name for the last couple of days and then tried to figure out how to do it. Yeah, I'm recording this in advance and I have been trying to figure out how to say this team's name, but I also figured out something. Founded in 1887, and they are the oldest team in Swedish football, apparently. So, I say apparently, it's kind of guaranteed they're the oldest. And they're expected Division 5th place. We've got a young squad. That's a lie. We've got a squad that could use some injection of youth. And we've got the likes of Jacob Josephson. So, Josephson? I think it is Josephson, but we can call him JJ because it works. He's good enough first division as a 2.5-star kind of ability player. Could potentially be a striker for the top flight as well. I'm going to be honest with you, this is the kind of player I want to build around for potential future transfers and just really good things. Even if we've got the likes of Ollie Christian Salter, he's a leading player for this division, but he wants to leave at the end of this contract. So maybe I should cash in on him now, but this is our best player. Arjen Zakovic is our best player. He's good enough for the top flight. He's a winger that I'm going to use, so I won't use him up front. And he says inside forward his best role. Inverted winger. I can see working with him. He's not the quickest, but we've got the young striker who's very quick, and we know how good a quick striker can be at the moment. And gotta be honest with you, it's going to be interesting to see if we can keep hold of him because he's got two top flight teams wanting him. Admittedly, one of them just got promoted. The other has been in the top flight for the last 3 seasons and finishing top half every single time. So we might be struggling to keep hold of our players. But I'm excited either way. We've got some very good talent, and the likes we can keep hold of the talent is really good. We've got some younger team players, so let's see what we need to improve. And, well, we need to improve the background staff first and foremost because we've only got a coach, a goalkeeping coach, and no assistant manager. We haven't got a performance analysis or head performance analysis. We haven't got a recruitment analysis, and we only got one scout who I don't honestly think is that good of a scout. So he's more of a performance analysis, which is a bit awkward. But yeah, he's actually a recruitment analysis really. So this guy we might need to replace sooner rather than later, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. And our director of football, we've agreed to keep hold of. I think we've agreed to keep hold of him. Let's just double check the promises. Yeah, we agreed to keep him in place for at least 181 days. So until the end of the year. I don't really need to replace him because I tried to look around for other directors of football, and there was nobody that really stood out as a good director of football that I could replace this guy with. So yeah, he stays regardless, I think. We also might need to improve our backroom staff a little bit in the physio department because this is our head physio. I had a bare physio at my former club. So yeah, I think we need to replace both of the physios, if I have to be completely honest with you. It's not that I want to, it's more that they're not really good enough for what we have. And if you look at the fact here, we are one of the worst in the entire division. Weirdly enough, our analyzing data is pretty good, and I don't know how that's the case. Coaching as well needs to be improved quite significantly, if we had the honest view. Head of youth development, not really a fan of his, even if he is potentially good. We do have potential to improve the background staff in the youth side. There is nobody here though, so maybe, just maybe, we don't touch that, even if we could just work on the background staff here. I genuinely believe we can improve a lot of the background staff here, and we can improve just a lot of things to really establish ourselves in our first ever professional club of the save. And yeah, professional club. I still can't believe it's taken me not that long to get a professional team. I ideally had wanted my former club to turn professional, but they didn't. We do have the problems with our finances where we are currently 627 grand in the red, which is not ideal, but we do have prize money in this league, and if you look at the fact that we've actually made a lot of money, it was a 1.33 million in the red recently, but we made enough money to pretty much take out 800,000 of that. We are projected to be in the 1.94 million in the red, so I might need to sell some players to make some money here, which is never ideal. If we look at the league and pre-season stuff, we are expected to finish in 4th place. I don't know how it went upside down, but there you go. We are expected to finish in 4th place. We actually have a player in the Media Dream 11 in Zakanovic, so there's that. He is worth between 60,000 to 300,000. In an ideal world, I would get Pontus Wickman as a defender. He's in the Media Dream 11, but look at his cost, look at his value, between 100,000 to £1 million. I wouldn't be able to get this guy. They would want that much money, I think, and he would be amazing as a defender to really strengthen our back line, even if his aggression's only 4. Only weakness I think of is, he doesn't have a release clause to us, at least, and I don't believe they've been relegated, so I'm just going to be nosy anyway and see if we can hit the release clause. I don't think they've been relegated. No, they haven't. So we wouldn't be able to get hold anyway. And yeah, we have to look at this and ask, would we be able to get half these people? And I have to say no. And if we look at the value for most of these players in this Media Dream 11, apart from Ask, Daniel Ask could actually be a really good player, actually, for my team. I would absolutely get him if I could. I don't see us potentially being able to get anyone right now, which is awkward. He's also got an active relegation release clause. Could we activate this? We could. So we could go for us, but I don't think he'd want to join us somehow. And I look at the team, and I look at the values of most of these people, and I say, yeah, most of them are quite expensive. We only have 100,000 in the transfer budget, so we wouldn't be able to touch that ourselves. We are losing more money through the player wages than anything else. So I might need to trim that a little bit. Those other costs, I don't know what the other cost is. What is this? Expenditures of advertising, supplies, and general expenditures. Okay. We do have money, though, in the league. I'm going to go through the sponsorship income. We have the third highest in the league of 450,000. And in the rules, we made 778,000 last year from prize money. So we're making 1.3 million a year, given that. So the ideal world is we would win the league and get that 1.13 million and then stay up in the next year and get an extra 3.14 million. So that's the ideal world for this league. And 2-year plan, 3-year plan, we need to make money and quickly. We've not even talked about the actual most of the players yet, which is saying a lot. We just need to work on a few things, I think, generally as a whole. So let's go over the players then and what the backroom staff believe we can do. So I made a tactic already, and we're going to use the same tactic we did in our last role because it works, even if we potentially probably will go super keeper and defend. But 16, Molin is the goalkeeper that I'll be using. He's 27, has got caps for Cape Verde, and looks good. Looks really good. There's no one really that can really fight him, if I have to be honest with you. He's a leading player for this division, so if we get promoted, he'll probably need to be replaced because he's 27. I don't see him getting any better, but he's also consistent and he's got a balanced personality, so maybe we could work with that. He's conceded 75 goals in 61 matches, and it's a good sign that that really could be where we can improve. Though his clean sheet record is not amazing, so maybe we need to work on that a bit more. We've got Elias Gustafsson as the right back. Though admittedly, he's one of 4 players that could be really good there. And I look at this guy in Robin Gavek, who I think is better as a centre-back. So we wouldn't use him as a right back, even if he wants to be playing elsewhere. Yeah, definitely a centre-back, 6 foot, has all the tools in the world to really work there. And he's actually one of the 3 players here. But this is our best centre-back, Marcus Sangre. He is good enough to be a decent player for the top flight. And he's 6'3". He's already got the ability to be really good in the centre-back role, which Gavlik can try and emulate. And given it as a 20-year-old and a 28-year-old in centre-back positions, we've got a lot of potential here. He is suspended from the top flight. I don't know what he did. He must have got a red card last year to get it. Yeah, he got a red card. It must be towards the end of the season. It's his only red card, and he's out for 3 games, so he must have got a red card in the last game out. But between our two centre-backs, we've got potentially some really good players here that we can work on and improve. But we need to be very smart with this and just work with the younger talent, I think, and not have to rely on the older players so much. Only downside with Marcus is he's wanted by a top flight team in, well, who have some really good facilities in the youth side of things. I'd rather not lose him if I have to be completely honest with you. So if they can leave me alone and not take my player, I'll be very happy indeed. They won 2 promotions. We literally done what they did, only they did it from the 3rd and 2nd tier and then survived. Left back is the one position I think we need to improve in, and that's because this guy is our current best left back. I know what you're thinking, he's an inverted wing back. I don't play the inverted wing backs though. Wing back on attack though, he can still do a good job on the other side. He's also centre back, which again tells me a lot that I need to improve, but he's 30 years of age, he brings experience. So he'll probably play as a centre-back first and foremost. I think the first course of action is to get a new left-back, because we don't have anyone that can really play there unless they're midfield, and I don't want to have to move my midfield in that position. Even they're very versatile. But first and foremost, our DM, Sigurdsson. He is a leading player for this division. He's better as a midfielder, but I think he's better playing as the DM right now, because I just think DM works for you. You be our best DM outside of our best centre-back and our left-back right now. So maybe, just maybe, we keep him there. I just think the fact he can play in multiple positions is very useful, and we can work with that. But then we've got Andreasson, and he's 30 years of age. He's currently injured due to a hip injury. And you're gonna start realising what my problem is. We've got quite a few of the older talent here, and we might need to replace them. And this guy can also play as a right back. Sorry, this guy can also play as a left back. He is good enough for this division that I really wonder if I want to use him. Mind you, we've also got this young talent who could play as a winger on the left-hand side and play as a midfielder. What do I use this guy as? Because I could see him playing as a Mazzala if I really needed to. Left-sided, very good left-sided player. But he could also play as a DM, though not a very good one. And I don't know, I'm in a position where I can work with this. He is wanted by a top flight team, but at the same time, I want more than that $250,000 that they're looking to spend on him, which not ideal when you think about it that way. But yeah, Anton Andreasson could be a player that we need to use in the first team. He might not be able to be back for the first game, but he brings me a lot of things I want. And as a box-to-box midfielder, which is what I will use him as, he could be useful. We've then got Tim Stodderstorm, and this guy is confusing because he can play as a winger, he can play as an inverted winger, he can play in the middle of the park as a Mazzala, can play as a Sergei Falante. If I was to use this guy as a deep line playmaker, it wouldn't make use of his physical attributes, which I think he needs to use more. So Mazzala is what I'm going to use him as, but he could also play as a winger and a wing back, and yeah, this guy is not the player I'd want to use right there. He says fullback in his mid description, so maybe I use him there, but I see him as a Mazzala. I think, no, maybe not. Maybe this is the guy we use as the fullback, the wingback on the left instead. I don't know, but let's actually swap the two around and do this. Then we swap you two around, and maybe that problem's solved. Maybe you just need a new DM or something, but yeah, I don't know. Though, we also have this guy. He's 31, but he's a decent player for the top flight, so Buckroff is very much a player that I could use as a winger, and kind of like what I did for last in my first season at Eskilstuna. He's been around the world. He's been in Sweden, been in Portugal, been in Poland. So he's been around and learned a few things in his trade. The fact he's been putting in these numbers for this team in the last couple of years, 9 assists last year, tells me I need to use him. He's my best wide player outside of, you know, our star man. Speaking of our star man, he's also on the other side of the wings, and yeah, we've got this guy using the right side of the pitch. We definitely need to utilize him as an inverted winger. He says the inverted for his best role, but I think inverted winger could be even better for him. Both roles are 4-star ability. I could use him as a striker, as an advanced form, because he could play there. I might want to go elsewhere with that idea, really. because this guy, I think, is better on the wings, and he's a good player for this division. Hasn't really done a lot, I think, as a striker, if he has been playing there. It looks like he's been played as a striker, which doesn't tell me a good deal about him, but I don't know. Hasn't really done a lot. I think using the wings is his best position. And then we look at Ollie Christian Sutter. He says poacher. I also think advanced forward, but he's also slow. So I'm thinking, so this could be a very brave decision on my part. I play Jacob Josefsson up front. His physicals tells me I need to use him. He's got very good attributes elsewhere. The only attribute that is below a 10 out of the ones he'll need for the advanced forward role are the passing. I think this guy could be really good. Yes, he can't jump. I don't know why he's heading so bad. In fact, I might actually just improve his heading just to see what we can do with him. His bravery and heading are not great, so that's what we need to improve, but the guy's really useful. I just see him as a striker. He's come for the academy, and I think to utilize the requirement to, well, it doesn't have develop players using the U system, but I'm told to sign players under the age of 23 for the first team and to sign players from the lower leagues at the rest of the game. If I can find more exciting talent than I can, and what I'm going to do is look at this. I'm going to look at these positions and I'm going to see, can I find some exciting young talent? It's not ideal to go that first, but we've already got someone as a left back here that could be interesting. He is 24. So he's also one of my top flight teams. So we can get some young talent. We can get some talent that we can absolutely take advantage of. They do want me to get some young talent, and well, what do you know? We found someone already. This guy is already someone I'm thinking of. He's unambitious, but he came from Tromsø. Signed on the free. He's worth between 2 to 7 grand. Let's scout him. Let's see if we can get this guy from Karlsland. The fact he's already a 2.5 star current ability player tells me that I should get this guy, even if he's unambitious. Let's get him. He got 6 goals in 26 last year as a 17-year-old. Yes, the attributes average rating is not great, but this is what I'm going to try and do. I'm going to go and try and throw through these leagues and try and see if I can find some really good talents. Lamin Sarr, again, could be someone we can utilize. So let's scout him. He wants to leave, and he's one of my star. He's also worth between 0 to 65 grand, so we can look at that. I could get this guy in as well. Now, admittedly, not amazing, but we're looking at young talent, and we're going to see what we can do. So let's look at this and ask, where can we find more talent and go elsewhere? Oh, wow, this team. There's one team that just dominates the medium 11, and that's interesting for this. And again, another young talent that we could use, 22 years of age. And again, I'm just going to go through the medium 11 and just try and find as many good talents as possible. I'm even going to go through the 4th tier, because you never know, you might find some really exciting young talent like Marcus Nordgren. Now, out of contract, let's scout him. He's unambitious, but look at his pace. Utilize that. And if we can find as many good talents as possible, we can take advantage of this. Admittedly, some of these talents are never going to be good enough, but if they're young enough, then we can utilize it. And we're just going to go through this a little bit more and just find as many good talents as possible in the meantime. And I'll be back in a bit. So yes, if we look at this screen in particular, we need to know what we can find and what we can really improve. And we definitely need to improve some areas of the pitch. Goalkeepers, we've got some really good talent there apparently, but I also feel like we need to just strengthen the depth that we have. And according to the system report, the goalkeeper is actually where we need more strength and depth in. Though overall, outside of the depth overall in the first team, we've got a decent squad where nobody's actually really bad. So that's a good sign for our point of view. I've only really gone through the best players, to be honest with you, but we've also got some players of really good potential. Now, admittedly, I would have loved to have kept this guy, but Magnus Nylander is already leaving for Norrköping, so annoyingly, he's going to be leaving us. I would have absolutely used him, and I might try and get him on loan because he's good enough for the 2nd tier. If I can get him on loan next year, oh, that would be fun. We've also got this guy who we could actually use as a winger or midfielder. He's young, 21, has got great potential. I think if we can get him to develop to be a top flight player, that's even better. But again, we've got some young talent here that we could absolutely use. We've also got the likes of Daniel Poulsen, who can and will be on the bench a bit for the first team. It's just unfortunate he's got someone so good ahead of him. But again, very good personality, someone we can absolutely utilize. We just need to improve the background staff and improve a lot more things. This guy came from my youth academy too, so he's definitely someone who's been here for a long time and I can potentially rely on to be very good for me. But again, we've got some good talent here. We do have some players with decent potential, like William Lindberg, who honestly doesn't look very good, unfortunately. But we've got this guy who's out on loan to Partizani, which is very strange that he's out on loan when he's good enough for this division. But I guess he's getting first team football there in Albania when he wasn't able to get any here. And also he's Albanian, so again, probably makes more sense. But he's out on loan until June, so we won't be able to use him for 6 months or so. So not the end of the world, really. Either way, though, we've got some good talent. We've got some young potential. And we got the likes of this guy as well as a left back. Isn't amazing, but has potential. So who knows? We can develop some players ourselves. What do you think of the team? And what do you think of just generally the whole where we need to improve the squad? Because I think we need to improve a lot of things in the team. And we just need to be very smart with where we need to improve. And we can find some young talent, which we just already did in the Media 11, then we could be very strong indeed. But again, we just need to be good and know where to improve. I want to be fighting for the title this year, which I know sounds ambitious, but given that we were expected to be not amazing with Eskilstuna last year, and we won the title by 24 points, I have the ambition now to try and do good things. Also, my manager profile is fairly ambitious, my personality is fairly ambitious in the game, so I think that tells you all you need to know, doesn't it? Anyway, I'm going to end this here. I hope you guys have enjoyed yourselves, I hope you guys like and share this video, and that you will subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out a lot. But either way, until next time, goodbye, and well, good night.